Hi, this is Joe with CPA. We're excited to introduce our updated tax return engagement letter templates for the 2024 tax return filing season. We have templates for individual tax returns as well as for corporations, partnerships, trusts, and estates. You can use these letters to define your relationship with your clients, minimize your liabilities, most importantly, outline your fees, and showcase your other services and expertise. These are detailed and comprehensive templates that we've worked on and improved over the years. It's roughly 10 pages long when you put it on 8.5 by 11 paper with standard sizing. I wanted to take this time to walk you through the template to highlight key terms that we make sure to include in these letters. In the beginning of the engagement letter, we have a paragraph outlining the specific tax returns that we're doing and for which tax year that we're covering. This is so that if the client ever comes back to us to say that we need to help them with other filings, that we can point them back to this letter to say that if they need our help with those other filings, that it had to be covered on a separate engagement letter and that we have a separate fee for those. Throughout the letter, we also make references to special items that the client may need to be aware of to provide us. In particular, we have paragraphs about cryptocurrencies and digital assets, given the higher scrutiny from the IRS to report those, and the fact that the reporting for those transactions aren't as consistent as regular stock sales from a brokerage on like a Form 1099. We also make disclosures about foreign financial accounts that they need to file FBAR reports or otherwise report on their tax returns if they have any such assets, so that at least we can document that we made our clients aware of these things, and if they don't provide to us, that we can say at least we did our due diligence in asking for them. In addition, in this letter update, we also included a paragraph about the new Corporate Transparency Act for the beneficial ownership information reporting that is a new requirement for this year for certain businesses, entities. And so that at least we can make the client aware that they may have this obligation if they do have a business that counts and falls under the new reporting requirement. We also include paragraphs about electronic communication, because now we're in the digital age that there's using emails and secure online portals. This is so that the client is aware that they accept using electronic communication and that we may not necessarily be able to fully protect the data in certain instances when there's a third party that's trying to maliciously get their information. But this, at least if a cyber breach does happen, that you at least had some language in the engagement letter to cover the fact that you may not be able to fully protect their data, but you can reassure them that you have safeguards in place. On top of that, you also have other language about relying on the client's information and that you may not necessarily be auditing their documents and that you're relying on the information as is. Just in case that if they give you any wrong information, that they can't come back and say that you made a mistake. It's because you rely on the information, and your scope of responsibilities don't include making sure that their information is necessarily correct. And that there's also other language in the letters to say that the client is ultimately responsible for returns, and so that when they're signing off on returns for filing, that they're assuming full responsibility for any penalties or interest that may happen, even if they signed off on incorrect number or incorrect position that was taken in the returns. Other than that, we also include language about arbitration, so that if an issue does happen, although we hope that it does not, that at least you won't have to necessarily go to court to resolve the issue and avoid a costly lawsuit. But in a nutshell, that's a lot of the important terms that we include in the engagement letter. The main purpose of the letter is just to help the client be more familiar with the expectations and to outline the scope of services, and to also just make sure that if something were to go wrong, that at least your liabilities is limited, and that when the client may try to come after you, that you can at least point them out to this letter to say, hey, this is not covered in our engagement, and then you can at least hopefully be able to avoid any large consequences on your end. But hopefully this engagement letter walkthrough was helpful for you, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.